The Levi Onwuzurike hype train is getting real. It's getting real in the field out here. I've been telling y'all last couple seasons he was the missing piece that the Lions was needing to get over the hump. And I said last year, had they had him, he was Aiden Hutchinson's Cole, Starsky and Hutch. He was his Hutch. He got to be Hutch. He was his Starsky. You know, he was his Marcus to what was Martin name in Bad Boys? It was Marcus and I forget his name. But y'all get what I'm saying. You know, Kobe and Shaq. And everybody think of, an additional pass rusher to pair up with Hutch. They look at it as an edge rusher. But the most effective pass rush is right up the middle. You know, and after Kevin Zeifert said about Levi Onwuzurike, you know, and he also threw Aleem McNeil, but we know what Aleem McNeil bringing. He got robbed in Madden with an 80 rating. Is wild. After the season he had last year, just to rate him an 80 is bananas. You know, but Kevin Zeifert, hopefully I'm saying his name right, we got him from Baltimore. He said the Lions have two $20 million plus defensive tackles, and then Aleem McNeil and Levi Onwuzurike. He said they got two $20 million tackles, and that's what I've been trying to tell people from day one. When I looked at the film of Levi, he reminded me of Ndamukong Suh, a little bit smaller, but how nasty he was, the athleticism. He about 20 pounds lighter when Suh was here. Hold on. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I don't know why this thing ain't connected. Hold on. Yeah, hold on. I don't even know how you could. I don't know if I could turn these back on without the whatever it is, what it is. I don't need the sound anyway. But I was telling y'all that Levi Onwuzurike, the power, the speed he played with, the explosiveness, how nasty he was, and his attitude that he had. That's what kind of what Suh brought. He played with a lot of power, a lot of speed, explosive, nasty guy. And even when his back was injured and they was playing preseason, they played his rookie year preseason against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, he was straight penetrating in the backfield. He was a problem in the backfield. He was staying in the backfield. So that penetration and that push that you gonna get from him, man, if he can play and be healthy. And then a little backstory for a lot of people who don't know, he had that back injury that people don't recover from in sports. It's the same one Darius Leonard had from the Colts. That got him kind of demoted. And then he ended up on Philadelphia. I think they cut him. Shaq Leonard had that same back surgery. And a lot of people don't recover from that. Usually when they say they work on your back, they say it's over with. And I learned when I had a CNC lathes and mills cutting class, I learned that wasn't necessarily true. But it's kind of like with the Achilles injury. Remember the brother from the Rams, Cam Akers? I think he played at Florida State. Remember he came back less than a year later, but then we had the brother Romeo Cora who had that same injury, but he couldn't recover. Usually with the Achilles injury, when you heavier, when you were the heavier variety, when you were the heavier variety, it's harder to recover. It's harder to come back. The lighter you are, the easier it is. And Eventually, he didn't recover. And Cam Akers was a little bit younger. Now, Cam Akers had a good run in that Super Bowl run, but he never was the guy again in LA. And I think it had a lot to do with Sean McVay, but more than the injury. But nonetheless, Onwuzurike was probably young enough, and you got to remember, he's not a super heavy guy neither. You know, he came in the league, if I'm not wrong, around 275 pounds. That, for a defensive tackle, that's not super, especially in 2020, 24. And Dominic Sue came in around 305 pounds. So you got to think about a 30-pound difference. Kind of when you speaking about, come on, when you speaking about weight, that's like a 30-pound difference. But that's why he can have the ability to play defensive end and all that type of stuff. So, but yeah, if he is going to emerge, the Lions going to be a problem. Lee McNeil continue to penetrate and get upfield like he can. And my whole thing was, I really didn't speak on Levi Onwuzurike this year because I'm like, man, you know, I know it's kind of like a contract year for him. I'm like, that motherfucker's a failed. He failed. He ain't gonna recover from that back injury. And I think they reconnect the spinal cap or something like that or whatever. All the L's, and I don't know how many people go to the chiropractor with the L1s, the C's, and all that shit. They had to reconnect something, and I think if he continues to go that way, and he strengthens his back, and you know what I'm saying, he in great condition, which he not one of those guys who get out of shape. You know, he one of them guys that retire and probably be in terrific shape. I can already tell. He one of them dudes that's gonna retire and gonna be in terrific shape. So he ain't an overly heavy guy neither. So with his ability, if he show up this year, the Lions gonna be hard to beat. If they for the most part healthy. If he show up this year, they're gonna be a tough team to beat. I said the last 2 years. I said if Onwuzurike is healthy and show up, the Lions gonna be hard to beat. And I'm on record saying that. And I usually don't toot my own horn. But if he show up, Hutchinson, if they can get Mac Judon too, oh my God, they defensive line gonna be so serious, bro. It's gonna be so serious, man. I'm telling you. Onwuzurike is just a freak of nature. He is heavy-handed. He's explosive. Just imagine a Dominican suit. There you go. A nasty motherfucker. Dirty motherfucker, excuse my language. He played with a lot of explosiveness and physicality. I'm telling y'all, he played with a lot of explosiveness and physicality. The way he penetrates, he get in the backfield. It's different from a DJ Reader. And last year we seen a Lee McNeil able to penetrate and get into the backfield. We seen it. But Lee McNeil is a freak of nature at his size. But Levi Onwuzurike, for his size, in the defensive tackle position, you be like 275, he must be fast. You know, Aaron Donald play around the same speed, but he bigger than Aaron Donald. But the thing about him, he play with heavy hands. He play with heavy hands, and he play with a lot of power. When I looked at his film, man, I was overly impressed. I said, this dude win the second round. This dude had like top 10 talent. You know? I know New England just paid the other defensive tackle they took out of Alabama. I forget his name. They just paid him not too long ago. So I understand. But, you know, with Zeitler saying that, and the pads on, man, the Lions defense gonna be, if the defensive backs they able to jail and all that, the Lions gonna be tough to beat, bro. Because he was the missing piece they was missing last year. So now you get a guy that can penetrate, who can get upfield, who can get in the backfield, who kind of give you an identity. I like Hutch. Hutch is the swag of the defense. The defense. He the energy guy, but they don't have a badass. They don't have a badass. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what they missing. You know, the defensive Come here. Come here. The defensive backs is the sweat, and Hutchinson, they the swagger. You know, the lunch pail guys, come on. The lunch pail guys are the linebackers. You know what I'm saying? But you look on that defense, you say, well, who is the guy who gonna be the nasty guy, the bad boy? You know what I'm saying? Who kind of be that villain? Lee McNeil is a big dancing bear, athletic, happy giant, like I said, Hutch is the swag, James Houston got the speed, Rodrigo got the character, Derek Barnes is a great athlete, Jack Campbell is just, a constant pro. I think he's probably going to be the MVP of this defense. And I think I said last year, I felt like Alex Anazzoni, he was the co-MVP of that defense with Aiden Hudson. He had a really great year. Come here. He had a really great year last year. So, but really, they don't have a villain. They don't have a bad boy. They don't have a nasty guy on there. And Liam McNeil is going to bring some nasty on there. He's going to bring some nasty to the defense, man. And, an enforcer. That's a great way to put it, Scott. They don't have an enforcer. And as much as, come on. Miles, come on, brother. Come on. No, come on. Dogs be sniffing all day. Come on. Let's go. But yeah, they need an enforcer. Scott had the perfect line. That's what Ndamukong Suh brought. He brought an enforcer. And when you look across the team, it's a lot of guys with big personalities. It's a lot of guys that's just, they dogs. But you don't really got the gorilla, the ape. You really ain't got nobody that's gonna get really nasty. Come here. They got somebody that got an identity now. Can you stop turning your head? They got somebody that's giving them an identity. And I'm telling y'all, man, if he back healthy and can stay healthy, the Lions defense gonna be up there. The only thing you probably got to question at this point is gap discipline. And I don't even think you got to question that after last year. But the only reason I say you should question gap discipline is because they adding some pieces back. They adding the James Houston back. They adding, DJ Reader. He may not be ready for the season. So that's something else to look at. Yeah, he may not be ready for the season. Kaminsky got injured, so we might not see him for a couple months. So when you got new faces and new people on that defensive line, it's going to be a little bit of time to work on gap discipline. So that's the only thing. They say that defense is stuffing the run like no other. But what they was missing was another pass rush extraordinaire. And with Levi, he stopped the run. He get after the passer. He give you that athlete I said they didn't have in the middle. They don't have a real 3 technique. Lee McNeil did a great job of playing one last year. But now you got a real athletic defensive tackle that can bring some juice. And I'm telling you, the linebacker's going to be clean. Even in the rain and it's money, they're going to be clean. And if them DBs can come together, the linebackers is the most cohesive unit on the squad. They've been together. So they know their roles. You know what I'm saying? Derek Barnes having another great camp. Rodrigo got hurt today, but it ain't that serious. Who else? Oh, Anazzoni, I said he was the MVP last year. Yep, I said it. With Hutch on defense. So, like I said before, I like what they doing. And the real point is that DB going to jail. Branch just came back off injury. Kirby kind of slowly coming back off injury. He going to go back to his natural position. Terrion seemed to be doing solid. It heard much about Carlton, but, I think the real show for him is in the regular season. So he probably just cruising through camp. Amick Robertson, Emmanuel Mosley finding his way back. Um, so they got a lot of characters, man. They got a lot of depth, and having a lot of depth can change real fast, though. One injury can change that shit. We know it, and we know it. But I'm so excited about Levi, bro, because I've been I've been speaking him up for 2 years now. When I turned his film on, I was just so excited. And I said, that's the guy the Lions gotta have. And they got him. He ended up having a phantom back injury. We didn't learn to year 2. Then he had the back surgery year 2. Year 3, he looked horrible. But apparently, whatever they did, to strengthen the back muscles, or whatever the recovery period was like, he's going to be the platinum standard if he's able to bounce back from that surgery. He's going to be the platinum standard for recovering from back injuries. Whoever did his back surgery and whatever the rehab plan is, that's what they're going to follow from now on. If he can make a full recovery, that's what they're going to follow. That's what they're going to follow. That's going to be, oh man, this is how we got to recover when he had his injury. That's how they're going to do it. But Hutchinson might have a real ace on that defensive line. He might have a real ace. He might have a real ace. A real dude that they got to double. And if you asking me, you like, well, if they both on, who would you double? Well, you gonna double the guy that got the shortest line to the quarterback. That's right in the middle of his face. That's who you gonna double. You might chip, Aiden Hutchinson coming out the backfield, but he can jump on the inside too. So Levi play outside and inside. Levi play outside and inside. But my dog just be wanting to be hard headed. But yeah, he'll play outside and inside. But when you gotta pick somebody to double, you always gonna go with the defensive tackle if you gotta make a choice. If they're about the same, because the shortest line to the quarterback is up the middle. That's the shortest line to the quarterback. That's the shortest line to the quarterback. So that disruption that they gonna get, somebody on that line gonna have double-digit sacks. I tell you that right now. Somebody on that line gonna have double-digit sacks because you got too much penetration. You got somebody like DJ Reader who gonna stuff it up. McNeil can stuff it up, but he also showed last year that he can get sacks. Onwuzurike, he can do everything. If he can continue to stay healthy, then you got James Houston, and I think Kaminsky will be back this season, and you got Josh Pascal's another guy who can't stay healthy, but when he is healthy, he's a great penetrator. It may not necessarily translate to sacks, but he in the backfield stuffing the run. He always in the backfield. So they got a lot of guys that get a lot of penetration. And what's so funny is they built the defense. In order to beat the top teams. Not just the top teams in the NFC. They built the defense to beat the top teams in the league. They can stop the run. It look like they can get after the passer now. And on top of that, when you can get after the passer, and now if you got some DBs that can cover, they showed to be one of the better blitzing teams in the second half of the year. Come on. Well, you bullshitting. Come on. They showed to be one of the better blitzing teams last year. So now you find Lee McNeil, not Lee McNeil, but F.A. Melifanu, who showed to be a stud, who's shown to be a stud all around the defense. Excellent blitzer. One thing about him, when he blitz, he does a great job of masking it. You don't know if he coming or if he going. Pause. You know, and they don't see it. He's a guy, another guy that's gonna be very important in what they do. You know, he gonna get sacks, he can get picks, but also he can guard number one receivers. We seen him do it in the past. 6'3", 200 pounds, fast guy. You know, so he's a corner by trade. And what he gonna be in the defensive backfield is just a star. He gonna be a star. He gonna move all the way around and he gonna make plays. You know, you got a playmaker like him, you find a way to put him on the field. The nickel, number one corner, number two corner, you know, whatever it may be. Blitzing off out the slot, out the nickel. So, in my humble opinion, he's done a tremendous job of not cleaning house. You know, he cleaned house, but he kept the guys. You know, he kept guys that they needed. He didn't say get rid of everybody, bring all my guys in. He seen they had some talent. He went to get guys to surround that talent, and he gambled on some guys. F.A. Melifanu, he was injured a lot early in his career. You know, but guess what? They was never trying to be the best team off the rip. They cooked it like a brisket, nice and slow. They cooked this thing like a brisket. So, you know, if you ever watch like UFC or boxing, when somebody get punched, but then it's a delayed reaction when they get dropped. They get punched about 2-3 seconds, and like they took the punch well, and then they fall down and take a knee. That's what he had with F.A. Melifanu. That's what he had with you know, he looking to have with Pascal. That's what he's looking to have with Pascal, Levi, and Onwuzurike. He got some guys that, you know, he put some money into an index fund that wasn't gonna pay off for a while. You know what I'm saying? And now it's starting to pay off. He played the long game. He played the long game. And now some of them players that was kind of broken up and injured, you know, now they healthy. So now they healthy. Now they showing to be huge contributors. And yes, it's hot as shit out here. And now they showing to be huge contributors. So, like I said before, he had some delayed reaction picks. We was looking like, I don't know about Levi. It starting seemed like he turned around. We don't know about F.A. Melifanu. When he played good, but he often injured. You know, said the same thing about Levi. We thought, hey, well, I ain't gonna lie, I was with y'all last year. I'm like, man, cut this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I was like, cut this motherfucker now. It's my money and I want it now. I'm like, get this motherfucker up out of here. Hope he got a good degree. But it seemed like they was patient with him. He got some late reaction, you know, picks, you know, and now them motherfuckers starting to get active. And if these Pascal, Onwuzurike can stay healthy, Melifanu can stay healthy, I'm telling you, man, and they key players can stay healthy, it's gonna be, man, it's gonna get scary. It's gonna get scary. It is going to get scary for the league because they got some hitters coming. No diddy. Because Onwuzurike gonna change the whole. That's like X-Men joining the Marvel universe. That's gonna change everything. Come on. That's gonna change everything. That's gonna be huge, man. Because I just don't understand what Onwuzurike brings to the table. He brings an explosive, badass, strong guy. He brings an explosive badass. So I look for Hutch to have a big year, Onwuzurike to have a big year. I look for, I look for Melifano to have a big year, Pascal to have a big year, and I look for them to get a lot of sacks. We know they can stop the run. Now, you getting some speed in there, Onwuzurike, James Houston back. You starting to get some speed. Now when they just was missing them sacks, you know what I'm saying? When they just was missing them sacks, now that's gonna be the difference between turnovers, strip sacks. So now Hutchinson gonna have some help. He gonna have some real help. So, like I said before, man, I think the future is bright for them. I think they bright, and I ain't gonna say what I want to say. I'm gonna hold it in, but I think them dudes, man. I think them dudes might be headed for some type of glory, and I think the NFL don't even know what's about to hit them. I don't think the NFL knows what's about to hit them, because even though they may not have made a bunch of major signings, they got some additions that have been subtracted from the team. Like LeBron, hilarious. I never got that one before. But yeah, they got a lot of additions that they've been having in the holster. They had a couple bullets left in the clip. You know what I'm saying? You'd be surprised how many Americans smoke. That's crazy. It's like everybody smoke. And I be wondering what y'all be getting from smoking cigarettes. Like, what the fuck do you get from that? Like, how do you even start? I understand a lot of smoking starts at the house. So I understand that part. But I get, I'm not a weed smoker. But I get people smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? But what I don't understand is when people say, I don't have an addiction to weed. I can stop when I want to stop. And them motherfuckers been smoking for 10, 20 years. And they ain't never stopped. That'd be funny to me. I'd be like, tell that to somebody else. But, us regular people who don't smoke or drink, and I drink socially, you know what I'm saying? But for real, who don't got to drink every day and smoke, we deal with our problems a lot differently than everybody else. We deal with our problems straight, shot, no chaser. A lot of people turn to black and mouth, weed, alcohol to deal with their problems. I just figure when you impaired, you don't come up with no solution. But I ain't knocking you. If you smoke, you smoke. But yeah. I think Meek and Davis is going to be starting quarterback. Who is Meek? Amick Robinson, you talking about? Amick? I read he was competing for the slot, the nickel corner with Emmanuel Mosley right now. If you talking about Amick, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. He made a hell of a play on Christian Watson last year. That was a hell of a pick. He a little evil motherfucker too. I like that. He another dude that's gonna bring some attitude to the Lions. That's another guy that's bringing attitude. You gotta remember Carlton Davis too. He is the second. He also is in a contract year. So there you have it. So he also in the contract year. Come on. So you might be on this. I got any questions? I answer them. Cause it's hot as shit out here. We've been on here 30 minutes. I'm out here cooking. I just got out the sauna and done working out too. Man. And my message today is, do what's hard for you. That's what I would say. Do what's hard for you. Whatever you struggle with, start to master it. So the only thing about Carlton Davis, he's not going to stay healthy. That's why you got Amick. That's why they still kept Mosley. You know, that's why they got Terrion. That's why they got Rackstraw. That's why they bought back Vidor. That's why you got F.A. Melifanu. All guys that can play corner. So they got a lot of depth there. So you count on him to miss about 3-4 games. But Rackstraw, he started to shine when they put the pads on. That's what I want to hear. It's a lot of t-shirts and shorts and helmet warriors. But when them pads come out, you know, it's a lot of pedestrian looking dudes. You know, we used to play in high school and little league. Used to be superstars with the pads off. You know, they put them pads on, that boy's turning into a dud. They turn into duds. So, them pads come on, Rockstar shine. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. That's exactly what I wanted to hear, but you might be right on that one. But you got to understand, too, them young guys, they going to keep getting better and better through the season. They going to keep getting better and better through the season. So that's one thing you got to remember. Them young whippersnappers, they going to get better and better. Better and better. So by the time playoff time come, come here. By the time playoff time come, you know, they going to be a problem. Come on. They going to be a problem. But like I said before, Kevin Zeiffer's comments on Levi and Onwuzurike, that got a lot of people excited. He said the Lions got two $20 million D tackles in Lee McNeil and Levi and Onwuzurike. So if that's true, the Lions going to be a problem. They're going to cause a lot of hell. They're going to cause a lot of hell. A lot of hell. But that's all I got today. Appreciate y'all for watching. Little walk and walk the dog and stream talk. So hopefully y'all enjoying them, share them. Double tap the screen to like the video. Peace.